All right, good afternoon to you and welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana on DSTV channel 277. I am Bright Nana Kwesi. I'm being supported by my colleague and producer Henry Kwesi Bedu and all the entire staff here. We're going to give you what exactly is happening currently in LUKULA. I mean, such a big name and word when it comes to names of towns here in the country. But what exactly is happening there is what we'll be telling you this afternoon. Don't go nowhere, stay with us here. Good Afternoon Ghana. After this break, we'll be telling you what exactly is happening in the regions. Stay with us. Welcome back, and this is still Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. Let's bring you a brief background of what has been happening in the LUKULA area since, and we are told that it's an ancient conversation and conflict. This one says 7 people have been murdered and several injured in a conflict at LUKULA in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region. Now, the outbreak of violence reportedly started between the MEMPEASEM and Gonja tribal groups in the region. There's an ancient feud between the tribes, which resurfaced on Tuesday, May 30, after a report that the MEMPEASEM side had sent warriors to prevent the arrival of a rival chief from Daboya. Now, LUKULA and Nyuabini communities were attacked, and many houses were torched on Thursday, June 1, 2023, meaning that some houses were burnt, and also this has forced the residents to flee to neighboring West MEMPEASEM municipality in the fear for their lives. So, in 2021, a chief in the region, or say in the area, was captured on video, inciting violence and even calling his colleagues as human vultures. Take a look at this video.
Savannah regional minister said that there are Fulani ethnic groups from the land, and so Naba is disturbing them, collecting cows from them. And it's lie. It's a hypocrite. I don't know the reason why Akufo-Addo have wasted his time to pick this man as a regional minister. We need the justice people to rule the place. Somebody who will tell you the facts so that you know what you do your job. He create a lie like that. We and Gonjas have never fought because of a land. You understand me? Only the land by the sharing. Let us, we and them are fighting. And it was British. They come to do. You know, British, they are thieves. British are thieves. If I were to be a head of state, I would have let British people to know that they are thieves. They come and spoil this our country and bring their wrong education to come and pollute our mind. And our politicians and our president don't know their left and right. And they come to take our resources to go and develop their place and let us suffer. If government didn't come there, and we heard they came there with lies again. Not LUKULA that will fight. We'll face the boy direct. I want them to know today, as I'm saying it, they are liars. They are human vultures. Any place they saw there is a food, they will land there, telling lies. That was in Peura is a liar. He's my colleague. He is not telling his people the right thing. Not Janga alone will get up and fight them. All Mampurugu will come to face them so that there will be peace that place. When they beat us, they should take the place. When we beat them, even the boys will take it.
And so another part of the conversation is that according to the fleeing residents, they say that the Gonja traditional warriors have refused to leave the village. Here are some people in the area showing their concern.
Yeah, this is the youth of the traditional area. We have also come together to hold a press conference in relation to what is happening currently at Wasipe, a suburb of the Gonja Kingdom. Actually, with what the police and the army personnel have gone there to do to our people, it's nothing good to write home about. Because following the deployment of the police as at yesterday to LUKULA, they didn't go there to calm nerves. They didn't go there to separate the fight. They have rather gone there under an instruction that they should shoot the Gonjas, and that was what happened there. And there are evidence to prove this. Because if not so, 2 years back when the Janga chief, the so-called Janga chief, sat at his palace and said Gonjas are human vultures, And we all know that vultures eat meat. And if the vultures have gone to eat their meat, does it mean the government should deploy or the IGP should deploy police officers to come and attack us? And at the moment, why are they not at Wali Wali? Why are they not at Janga to arrest them? After he causing this, they are at Waspe tying down our people like animals, arresting them, children, adults, human beings, beating them. So is that the reason, or is that how to go and calm down nerves? So this is to the government and the IGP. They should, if they want peace, lasting peace, they should calm down the nerves of the people and make sure that everything is being resolved amicably. And the chief of Janga must be arrested for saying that it was that is what has caused the whole issue. And the chief of Janga, they should investigate what he said clearly and arrest him. Yes. They should arrest him for saying that, for causing that war. Today the MEMPEASEM police personnel are mapping people and they are there arresting our people, shooting our people. And that is what has also made us to also come out today.
And you hear from some aggrieved persons in the area, and they are questioning the police service as to why they rather are attacking them rather than going to the Jana area to arrest people there, because the chief of the area had earlier called them human vultures, a reason why they believe has packed all the menace there in the area currently. My guest on the show today is Gideon Adam Akil. He is Savannah regional correspondent, Adib Sani security analyst, and also Honorable Saeed Jibril is Savannah regional minister. They are all going to be joining me here on the show today for a conversation. But first, let's speak to Gideon Adam Akil, who is in the area, and I saw the latest from this particular menace. Gideon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Bring myself and our viewers up to speed, the latest on this issue.
Right. Thank you very much. The conflict between Gonjas and Mamprushi began on Thursday morning in Lukula,
right,
when tensions between the Gonja and Mamprushis escalated over the ownership of the Lukula community. In fact, sadly, the situation resulted in the loss of one life and the destruction of numerous homes in Lukula. Meanwhile, as I speak, a group of youths of Gonja besieged the residence of the king and overlord of the Gonja kingdom, Yagorabi Kunuto Jeusole I, demanding the intervention of the overlord in the ongoing conflict between the Wasepe traditional area and the Mamprusis of Lukula, MEMPEASEM, and Janga.
Right.
You could call, yes. So a joint military and police task force invaded Daboya yesterday at a very late hour, like 3 a.m. This morning, yes. And in fact, arrested about 70 people, including 2 chiefs. About 3 persons also yesterday in the renewed clash sustained some gunshot injuries, and they are currently receiving treatment at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And so the 70 people that were arrested by the police this morning at Wasepe in Daboya are being taken to Tamale for investigations.
Now, the video that we watched from the youth in the area asking or questioning the police service why they are not rather attacking people of the Jana community, but rather their area. They are worried because they say the chief there is the one who has caused all this, resurfaced the conflict. What really is the issue?
Yes, somewhere 2 years back, the Mamprushi chief of Janga, mobilized media men and did a press conference stating that Lukula is originally for the Mamprushis, and so they will not allow Gonjas to take over the land, and also threatened that the Wasepura is a liar and Gonjas are human vultures. They are liars. Anywhere they see food, they want to go there. And so if they joke, the Mamprushis would take over Lukula and even invade Wasepe, that's Daboya, and take over Daboya in addition. This angered Gonjas. And so you realize that that is the reason for the current conflict. And so when the Gonjas heard that, after attacking Lukula in 3 months back, they recently, most of the community members of Lukula fled the community. And so recently, the community, the youth of the community of Lukula held a meeting and looking at how they can come back to the community and continue with their education and continue with their normal lives. And so information was sent to the Gonja warriors that the Lukula people or the Mampushis have gone to mobilize again to come back strongly to fight, Gonjas. And so looking at the message that was sent earlier by the Janga chief, the paramount chief of Janga, that is Sona, that also pushed the Gonjas to take action because they couldn't have sat to, wait for any surprises. So you will see that is the main reason why we are in the situation that Lukula and Gonja has found itself today.
But do we have the police service station at one particular place that, like is being touted by the gentleman in the video?
Yes. Yesterday, after the warriors from Wasope and Lukula clashed, the police intervened. And of course, like I said, about three of the warriors sustained some gunshot injuries, and they were taken to Tamale Teaching Hospital by the police. And so some youth of Wasope vandalized the police station in Daboya. And so that resulted to the arresting of about 70 people, including 2 chiefs in Daboya, who have been taken now to Tamale for more investigations.
All right, Adam, I'll come back to you for more on this. Don't hang up. Just stay with us. But I'm going to try and have a conversation with Adib Sani. He is a security expert and he's been with us through all the issues we've been facing in the country whenever there are security issues. He's going to join us later and also speak to him. But Adam, before I go to Adib Sani, there are recommendations of a curfew to be instituted by government to ensure that peace is brought back to the area. As you await that, what do you think the youth should be doing by now? You are in the area. You are in Savannah. You know what has been happening all this while. You know what can trigger them or can let them go back into their shelf. What should they be doing?
In fact, I think as for Lukula, as we speak right now, Lukula has become a ghost town. Everyone has fled. All the houses in Lukula have been burnt down. They have been razed down. And so
every single one of them.
Daboya, come again.
Every single one of the houses.
Every single one of the houses in Lukula has been razed down by the warriors. They've burnt all the houses, and so Lukula is currently a ghost town. Nobody, no single human being, no animal is in Lukula as I speak. And so Daboya is a bit distant from Lukula. And so if there is a curfew in Daboya, I think Daboya is not the main place where the conflict is taking place. And so Daboya is only where the paramount chief of the Wasope traditional area is found. And so if there is a curfew in Daboya, I think that it will be a misplaced curfew. The curfew should have been in Lukula, where maybe the feuding factions are found. And so currently, the police and military task force has invaded Wasope, Daboya, and calm has returned. Mampushis are not in Daboya to fight. Wasope people, the Mampushis and the Gonja warriors clashed at Lukula. And so, there's no one in Lukula as we speak right now. And so I don't think that the interior minister should enforce a curfew. But the security concern here is the arrest of the 2 chiefs, including about 70 people that have been taken out of Savannah region to the northern region, Tamale. Most of the youth who went to the overlord today were demanding that the overlord should intervene so that the chiefs that were arrested and the about 70 people that were arrested in Daboya should not be taken out. Those people should be released. And the agitation of the youth, as in the videos that I sent to you, you would see that the Bupe youth who held the press conference this morning were saying that why didn't they arrest
the Jana chief?
The Mampushi side? and only arrested that of the people of Wasepe. But I think the arrest came as a result of the vandalism that took place by way of destroying some government properties like the police vehicle and some of the some portions of the police station of Daboya. And so the most important thing that should be looked at currently is how to resolve the issue between the police and the people of Wasepe traditional area. Information that we got earlier was indicating that the king and overlord himself wanted to move to Wasepe. He would have moved to Busunu and from there to Daboya to ascertain for himself the reason for which the chiefs that were arrested and the other 70 people that were arrested, and also to see how they could get the people released to bring to bring the tensions down in Wasepe. But currently, as I speak, those that are the 70 people that have been arrested, including the 2 chiefs, have been taken out of Savannah region, and they are currently on their way to Tamale.
Right, Gideon Adam. Thank you so much. He's in the Savannah region and bringing us the latest there from this. And interesting enough, the particular area where is the reason why the agitations are happening is almost empty because almost every single house there, according to a report, they just gave us that almost every single house there has been burnt down. Quite interesting, and that's the reason why the fight is actually happening. I'm deducing that from the conversation we just had with our Savannah correspondent. But I've not been joined on Zoom by Adib Sani, who is a security analyst. Adib, I asked my correspondent or my colleague from Savannah region the same question, and I'm throwing the same question to you. By now, should there be a curfew announcement by government? Because as the report he just gave us, it means that the arrests were based on properties destroyed by the persons in the area, properties belonging to government, and not necessarily because of the conflict happening there. How do you react to this?
It's the conflict that caused the destruction of property. And this issue has been lingering for years on end. And it would depend whether a curfew is imposed or not would depend on what the Regional Security Council might have found out based on intelligence and based on their own assessment of the situation. So if there is the possibility of the violence spiraling out of control, then quickly a curfew must be imposed. But based on the information I have picked up from the ground, I think it is ripe for a curfew to be imposed because these tensions have been simmering for some time now. And if we had picked intel at the right time, I'm pretty sure we might have been able to prevent these disturbances from happening in the first place. So I would call on government to immediately find a way to keep the peace as we explore other peacemaking and peace building, mechanisms by imposing a curfew in the area.
Adeb, how significant or important is the Lukula community to both territories, if won by any of the parties?
Well, right, it is an arable land. It's good for farming. It has a water source that I must say is very advantageous for the farmers in the area. And so in the past, the MEMPEASEM, particularly in the area, engaged in farming activities. But what I understand caused this round, and they've been paying royalties according to my sources. But at the point, the both tribes or ethnic groups felt entitled, to the area. So it is very strategic, when it in terms of farming, and the environment, I must say, is very conducive for farming activities. Hence, the reason, one of the reasons, because the reason they are into this is quite a plethora, but one of the reasons surely is access to good land for farming and grazing.
We know that somewhere back in 2021, violence erupted in Lukula, over which group had the right to take royalties from the Fulani settlers in the community. It looks like anytime there's a new violence or anytime there's a new menace, the reason is a competition as to who is supposed to do what or who owns what. How do we mark all this ownership and territories and all that? That's the origin of all these agitations.
Okay, so this conflict has been simmering for years on end. I mean, I spoke with a historian a moment ago who told me he's been there for about 40 years.
40 years?
Last night I received, yes. And last night I received a call from one of the, elders of the Fulani community in the area who lamented over the fact that this conflict might affect them. Okay, because now they are confused who to pay their royalties to. Is it the MEMPEASEM or the Gunjas? Because if you pay to one side, you automatically become an enemy to the other side.
Right.
And they were scared, especially already in the wake of the violence that has characterized some, communities in the area against Fulani. So I must say, they are very worried about what is going on. But let me also add that, some of these conflicts is very much deep rooted in pre-colonial movements, because according to one side, the other side moved to that area and stayed there for a very long time, and that doesn't mean that you own the place. You get me? As a result, the two sides have decided to. I mean, I'm not mentioning them specifically because I'm being conflict sensitive in my analysis. Okay.
Yes.
But at a point, the two sides decided to, skin chiefs, a chief for the one side, a chief for the other side. And, there seemed to have been a clash of authority as well. So this is a combination of a lot of issues. Land, it's about chieftaincy, it's about certain human insecurities, especially with young people not having anything to do with the lack of opportunities, lack of access to basic necessities of life, etc. So all of this creates an incendiary cocktail that, if care is not taken, might just explode when we least expect.
But sadly, too, the issue is also rendering some of these persons involved homeless, and they are becoming almost like refugees. We know that some of them have fled their homes in Lukula. I mean, how worrying is this, and what are you to expect in days to come?
Okay, so obviously, when there's crisis or violence of this nature, women and children suffer the most.
Right.
People would have to move from their homes into an uncertain future, I must say. But my biggest fear with all of what is happening is the possibility of the violence spreading beyond Lukula and MEMPEASEM. Okay. And the thing is, we have a lot of, groups in that area, islands of tribes within, a bigger tribe, a lot of them, especially within the Gunja territory. We have islands of Mushis, island of Fulanis, islands of, this and that, ethnic group. And so I wouldn't want a situation where other ethnic groups who might have also settled within an area that belongs to another ethnic group, waking up one morning and going like, hey, we've been here for too long. I think our forefathers were here too, so let us claim ownership and perhaps also get involved. Okay, so my fear is with the possibility of the violence spreading to other area, and that would present to us another big challenge already in the wake of, Buku and our inability to deal with it. And this is also coupled with the already existing over 300 chieftaincy and land disputes in the country. That is making the government spend millions of dollars on monthly basis just to keep the peace. I think this is a bit too much for us, and I hope that the two sides commit to peace so their people can live, more progressive lives.
But I think governments, for God knows how many times, have stepped in to ensure that all this conflict that happens in all these areas at that side, the savannah side of the country, is brought to a halt. But it looks like they are always reoccurring. One issue from the other, one issue from the other. Would there be a time where we can wake up one day and say that? Would there be a time where we wake up one day and say that, listen, it's all done and it's over? Is it possible?
It's not as simple as you sounded. Okay, like I said, some of these conflicts might, on the face value, look simplistic. However, when you apply conflict theory, such as the onion theory, and get into the interest and the needs, you'd realize that it's a cacophony of many socio-economic and geopolitical deficits that is, pushing such communities into, violence. So I think that the recurrence means our approach to it hasn't been good enough. Okay, if we deal with the fundamental issues and go beyond the superficial way in which we address conflicts, such as even the Buku one, it will be a difficult dream to realize, and peace would continue being a mirage. So I think this is a wake-up call to not just government, but even civil society and other stakeholders to get to work. So we are able to identify what the real fundamental underlying issues are, and by so dealing with them, I'm pretty sure we should be able to find a lasting, sustainable solution to whatever the issue might be.
We were also just speaking to our Savannah region correspondent before you came on. Gideon Adam. He alerted that, another reason or another problem facing them in the area is that, the Fulanis and who to pay monies to and all that might just end up seeing conflicts also erupting from that side as well. Because if these two factions are fighting, you don't know who to pay the monies to. How do we sort this thing out, Adib?
So you see, right, it's putting the Fulanis in a very difficult, precarious situation, because obviously if they pay one side, the other side would deem them as the enemy. If they pay them to the other side, so it's and already, by the way,
but what should they be doing? What should they be doing? What should the Fulani be doing? Should they abort it?
No, it will be a difficult thing. They have to postpone the payment of, I don't know if I'm still on.
You're on, Adib. Kindly go on.
I don't know. Wonderful. So I think
all right.
At the point they might just have to postpone. They get to know what the full. I there. I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. I lost you. I lost you for a bit. Kindly. I lost you for a bit. Kindly reiterate what you said when I asked the question of what the Fulani should be doing, whether they should abort the payments or not.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, at the point maybe the Fulanis might have to postpone the payments so as not to fall into the red books of one side over the other. Okay, until things become a bit clearer. But at this point, what we don't want to happen is the Fulani seen as taking a side, because that would be cataclysmic. And that is already in the wake of a series of attacks against Fulanis in the area and beyond. And I have videos and pictures that were sent to me last night, and it's quite disturbing, and it's something I would wish to pick up, especially owing to the threats that we face in the northern, frontier with respect to countering extremism. So for me, it will be a very dangerous thing for the Fulanis to be seen as taking a side. That is why I'd advise that if the situation gets stickier, then they would have no option but to postpone payments until it is much clearer. Yeah.
I think on a broader conversation, I know someone might be asking, how dire is the situation from Ghana and our neighboring countries, especially Burkina Faso?
Can you come again? I didn't get you.
Right. If you can hear me, I'm asking. Questions are being asked. When it comes to issues like this, it goes beyond just the country, but rather neighboring countries. Yes. What exactly, or how dire is the situation for Ghana and Burkina Faso? Looking at the fact that we are on the same border and this is close to them.
Yes, obviously, there's something I've always mentioned as a terrorism and counterterrorism specialist. Terrorists are opportunistic. They exploit local grievances, okay? And if there is such instability and, wanton display of lawlessness in areas that is close to hotspots, such as, the Burkinabe border, it poses a bit of an existential threat to the security of Ghana. Okay, because the possibility of terrorists taking advantage, coming to support one side.
All right, I think we lost Adib Sani there. Bad weather, bad connection. I promise to bring him on that. But like he was saying, it goes far or wide than just a concern to the country. Because terrorists, once they sense some menace happening there in the region, and they might be able to capitalize on that and invade the country. They do that, and so you never know. This might be an invitation to other terrorists to come in the country to do whatever they want to do. Quite sad, but I hope that it gets sorted. We're still live here on Good Afternoon Ghana. A quick time, we shall be back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Still here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Adib Sani is still here with us. Back with us, I should say. He's a security analyst. Adib, before I lost you, you were talking about the fact that this could be an invitation to terrorists to invade the country or the area. Continue on.
Absolutely, because they are opportunistic and they exploit local grievances. So the possibility of terrorists coming in to take sides with any of the sides in the conflict against the other, so they are assured of a base or a place to be or to stay, then it would graduate a rather simple-looking situation to a more complex and transnational security nightmare for us in Ghana. I mean, right, sometimes when we say these things, people think we are alarmist or we are seeking to create fear, but the threat is there. And for anyone to think that the biggest threat to Ghana is from outside, then I'm sure the person might have to do some more research. Look, the internal factors are more dire and more dangerous for us and poses a bigger security threat than the external, someone, a jihadist or whatever it is, a militant coming into Hamas. No, the biggest issues is got to do with the internal, security challenges. And one of it is the hundreds of unresolved chieftaincy and land disputes in the country. The other is illegal mining. We only talk about the environment, how it's destroying the forest cover, the cocoa farms, etc. But we seem not to be talking about terrorist financing. The fact that they might have been on the mining sites and making money, and why.
Thank you so much, Adib Sani.
Terrorist activities.
Right.
My pleasure.
Right. Thank you so much. And Adib Sani is a security analyst. He joined us here this afternoon on Good Afternoon Ghana for a conversation on the latest conflict in Lukula in the Savannah region. A fight between two territories, ownership of the Lukula community. Who owns this and who owns that? A lot is coming up. But according to Adib Sani, there should be an immediate curfew to ensure that both factions are kept under check. Thank you so much for watching Good Afternoon Ghana here. Let me say a very big good afternoon, Ghana. A very big good afternoon to you, Reverend Dan Francis T. Annan. I'm told you are watching of Odoko Mount Zion Presbyterian Church. Have a good afternoon to you, sir. I am Bryce Nanakusebeni. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good afternoon. Bye.